All right. I think I'm live. This is great. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm just using the audio on the camera here. And I know it's not the highest quality. You know, Seth James DeMore, he's got a much better live setup. But yeah, let's see here. Right alongside, I'm so glad you are here. Man, this is great. So I've got a lot of boxes to go through. Some things that I've received kind of recently. Well, I mean, it's all kind of recent actually. So I'm looking down here at the pile of boxes. So yeah, this is great. Let's see who else joins right alongside. Where are you from? And anybody else who ends up joining the live video feed as well. Love to hear where you're from. Obviously, I'm from Colorado, northern Colorado. I live in the Loveland, Fort Collins area. And just love this area so much. Love that I can get quick access to the trails. And yeah, so all my recording that I end up doing, at least on the trails, well, even on the roads, is all local for this area typically, unless I'm on some sort of big run venture, then that might be, you know, elsewhere. But yeah, so throw it down in the chat where you're from. All right. Oh man, the Walking Waffle from Belgium. Awesome. But living in Canada, very cool. Is it getting cold up in Canada? The temperatures are starting to become more wintry here in Colorado. And we're losing a lot of daylight. I can't wait. See, I think it's September. I don't know why I said September. December 21st or 22nd is our winter solstice. So hopefully after that, slowly but surely start to see just a little bit more daylight, which I'm certainly looking forward to. These dark morning runs. I enjoy them, but I certainly enjoy seeing the sun come up a lot earlier for sure. While we're here, and before I get to the boxes, I want to give a shout out to all of the recent channel members. The Walking Waffle, I think you are my newest channel member, and so I wanted to give you a shout out. Thank you so much. So yeah, just amazing. Valerian, also a recent channel member. We've got Michael, Angela, Trail Dog, Darren Taylor, Daniel Harris, Chad Haggerty, been a member of the channel for a long time. Also want to give a shout out to Wes Plate, who is an Elite Fan channel member. And if you guys don't know Wes Plate, he is an amazing, first, he's an amazing person, but he's also an amazing ultra runner. He's got a YouTube channel. If you haven't seen his channel, go check it out. As soon as we wrap up here, go check it out. Just go to YouTube, start searching in Wes Plate, and you'll find his channel. Done Moab 240, just recently attempted the Divide 200. He's putting on his own 100-mile race in Montana. Just really cool stuff and on his channel, and a great guy. And then of course, my final and longest member of the channel, Greg Bird. He's actually my in-law, my brother-in-law, and he's been a channel member for 27 months. So Greg, shout out to you as well. That is amazing, and really appreciate all the support. Only $1 a month starting out at the elite or the fan level, and then the elite fan level is $2.99, $3 a month. So just, you know, I really appreciate the support. It means a lot. So thank you, all of you, for being a channel member. Let's see here. The Walking Waffle, not quite as cold as expected so far. Still very runnable out. That's good. Yeah. There's another channel that I follow, and he hasn't posted in a while, and I'm forgetting his name. He's based in Canada and does a lot of trail runs out there. Outruns a lot of the area where people would go cross-country skiing, but just beautiful up there. Yeah, love it. What do you say we get to some boxes? Let me open up. Got a document here that I was keeping track of everything because I've got a lot of stuff here. A few of the recent items that I've reviewed here on the channel. Wanted to kind of show those off real quick if you haven't seen the videos. First up is the Nike Invincible 3. See that all right? Kind of a high stack, high plush shoe. This ZoomX midsole, I loved the ZoomX midsole. It was really nice. But it wasn't a perfect shoe. So you have to check out my review on that. You know, good design on the upper. What it really came down to was the volume around the heel and the ankle was a bit much. It just felt like, I don't know. And then the shoe was pretty stiff. I can barely get it to twist and turn at all. So a little stiff, but not out of the shoe that you shouldn't count out completely. But it wasn't my favorite shoe, but it still was a good shoe. So yeah, and I've been trying. Yeah, thank you. Right alongside. I've been really fortunate lately with companies that have been willing to send me these shoes. In fact, everything that I'm showing you today, these companies sent to me for review and whatnot. So just really grateful. I never tried to take it for granted. Yeah, it's been really awesome. So, and I've been trying really hard to get a video out every week, but life happens sometimes. So, got to account for that a little bit. There you go. The Invincible 3. Invincible 3. What else did I have? The Nike Zagama 2. So this was a pretty good trail shoe. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, almost dropped the box. So there you have it. 39 millimeters of heel stack, 35 in the front. Just like the Invincible 3, the Zagama 2 comes in at $180. So kind of getting up there in price. I found this shoe to be pretty good. One that I would be content using for pretty much all of my just regular everyday runs, maybe a few ultras. But it maybe was a little on the heavy side. You got like some extra, I don't know, I can't think of the right word, some extra stuff going on here on the upper. And so I felt like they could have slimmed it down just a little bit, kept the high stack. It's got the ZoomX foam, which felt really good on the trails. So a pretty solid daily trainer. Again, full review on the channel. You can check that out if you haven't already. Oh, appreciate that right alongside. You're saying give yourself some grace. Can't hit every goal. You're right. But we can sure try. Whether running or getting out, videos out. Yep. And that's a good point, because I really shouldn't be too hard about, and I get down on myself a little bit, like, I'm not going to be able to get a video out this week, or, my review video wasn't as good as I was hoping to be. I forgot to say this one thing that would have been really good or important to say. But you're right. Offer yourself some grace. It is so important. Life happens, and I have to think back, like, why am I doing this? Why am I on YouTube and putting myself out there and like sharing my opinions on shoes and whatnot? First off, it's because I love running. Like, that's what it comes down to. So I go out and I enjoy these runs, just enjoy it for what it's worth, right? And enjoy the whole journey and the process of getting more fit and getting on the trails and just exploring and all that. That is where the blessing is, in my opinion. Number two, it's to inform and inspire all of you through YouTube, Instagram, and it doesn't have to be perfect for it to be informative and inspiring. And the third reason is to enable me as a runner. I mean, I get these shoes from these companies, and I really consider that, a huge blessing, never to be taken for granted, like I was saying earlier. And it enables me as a runner. It allows me to do more and experience a lot more gear and have different experiences with all that. So yeah, I appreciate that, though. Let me finish reading your comment here. Oh, thank you. You'll be here watching even if life happens. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All righty, what else did I recently review? Oh yeah, the Craft Pure Trail X, which is an updated version of last year's Pure Trail, which I have right here. Kind of a fun colorway. I actually like the colorway more on the original Pure Trail. Kind of got that orangey yellow, kind of an orangey red, pink laces. Like, I thought it was really cool. But this red and orange, kind of a pinky. It doesn't show up in the video very well, but still a fun colorway. Definitely stands out. But yeah, this was a pretty good shoe. The midsole was a little stiff for me, though. Full review on the channel for this too. But yeah, the midsole was it's just a little stiff, a little too rigid. It makes it a pretty good, like, technical mountain running shoe. And even though this weighs in at the same weight as the Nike Zagama 2, it felt like this shoe was lighter underfoot. So that's worth mentioning. Lots of good protection, full rock plate, excellent grip. All in all, pleased with the shoe, but I find myself not really thinking twice about it for that next run. So it means it's not really a standout shoe. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. $170 on Craft's website. They sometimes run some sales, so you can check that out. But yeah, check out my thoughts on the full review video if you haven't seen that yet. All right, what else did I recently review? Last shoe. This one, I loved this shoe. And in fact, where is it? Oh, I don't have it up here. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of shoes behind me and some boxes here. I thought I had the shoe up here, or if I do, it's in one of the other boxes. That's okay. It was a shoe from Skechers. And it's the, oh, wait, I do have it. I forgot I put them in the box. This is version 4 of the Razors, so the Razor 4. But I recently reviewed right here the Razor 5. And of course, full review on the channel. But yeah, this is an amazing shoe. Don't overlook Skechers anymore. I mean, they've been coming out with kind of their Skechers Performance Go Run shoes for quite a few years now. I ran in the Razor 3, which it was quite a bit different, more of like a racing flat, fast daily trainer type of a shoe. Had a blast in that shoe. Then the Razor 4 came out, this yellow one. Loved this shoe. This was my favorite shoe to run in 2022. And then they came out with the Razor 5, which if you haven't seen my review video, you'll know that I said this is pretty much exactly the same shoe. They just gave it a new number and some new colorways. And it's basically the same midsole, same rubber, same plate in there. I think it's a carbon plate, the same tongue, same laces, yeah, same upper. They just changed the TPU overlays here on the eyelet chain a little bit. And that's it. It's exactly the same shoe, but it still is a very good shoe, $130. And you get about 30 millimeters of heel stack and 26 millimeters, 4 millimeter drop in the forefoot there. Just a fun shoe, something that you can use for your daily runs, but when you feel good and you want to pick up the pace, this also really helps you, have a lot of fun out there too. So yeah, never considered Skechers. But this is amazing. I loved this shoe. Alrighty. I mean, who would have thought, right? Alrighty. Let's see here. So now some of the new shoes that I haven't posted on the channel yet, but the reviews are coming, and I've been slowly putting in some miles. The first one, let's see here, is the INOV8. I've got quite a few shoes from INOV8 actually, and shout out to INOV8 for sending me these shoes. INOV8's based out of the UK and looking to really expand more here in the US. So yeah, it's been great that they're willing to send me some of these shoes. This is the Roadfly. One thing that I really appreciate about INOV8 is they really believe, kind of their ethos is that you should be in control of the shoe, not the shoe controlling you. And you really get a good sense of that when running in their shoes. Because of that, they're not really high stack. So this particular one comes in at about 27 millimeters of heel stack, 21 millimeters in the forefoot for that 6 millimeter drop. You definitely feel connected to the road though. And it's a flexible shoe, but it's kind of a breath of fresh air. It's been a lot of fun to run in this shoe, and I've really enjoyed putting in some miles in the shoe, even though it's not considered high stack. I would hesitate to maybe use this for a majority of my long runs, 15 plus miles. But for anything 10 miles or under, this has been my go-to shoe lately. Let's see here. I want to make sure I don't miss your comment right alongside. I just wanted to try INOV8. Yep. Never seen them in person. If you're local, you can check them out. Yeah. So full review coming out hopefully in about a week, week and a half or so. I don't remember how many miles I have in the shoe, but it retails for 130, which I think is just like the Razor 5. The INOV8 Roadfly retails for 130 US dollars. Pretty good price point. Yeah, definitely worth considering. So like this shoe a lot. The other shoe, one of the other shoes that I've really been enjoying on the trails, also from INOV8, is the Trail Fly. And there you go. Same concept where you are in control of the shoe, not the shoe in control of you. Very flexible. You see that 4mm lugs, great traction, amazing traction out of not just the lug or the lug pattern, but the compound, the rubber. Does a really good job, on par, if not better, than the Vibram Mega Grip outsoles. Again, with this guy here, the Trailfly, you're looking at 29mm of heel stack. That might include the lug depth, 23mm of forefoot, 280 grams, so fairly lightweight, $150 US. Yep. You just asked the stack height on that one. So 29mm in the heel stack, again, 6mm drop. Definitely feel like you're connected and like one with the trail. The shoe feels like it's one with your foot, and you feel like you're one with the trail. So I'll be expressing that more in my review. I love the design that they've come out with. It just wraps around your foot really well, but there's not a lot going on. In fact, it almost feels like when I first put my foot in the shoe, every single time, it gets me every single time. When I first put my foot in the shoe, I feel like it's not quite locked down, like maybe my heel's gonna slip. It just feels like the material here sits a little lower than most shoes around my ankle and my heel. But it's never, ever been a problem at all. The shoe length also comes up maybe a little short. However, it's never been a problem. I've never had any blisters formed, even on some of the longer runs. And I've taken this shoe out for a 20-mile trail run recently as well, and never had a problem. Part of that, I think, is because it's a very anatomical fit, kind of like Altra's original fit. It's got the same style of fit, although not, maybe arguably not quite as wide. Good snug fit around the midfoot and the ankle, despite it initially feeling like it's not going to be a good lockdown. So it's really surprised me. Plush tongue, gusseted, just a good shoe all in all. Let's see here. Check up on the comments here. Too much trail feet or just right? Right alongside, I'm not sure what you're asking exactly when you say too much trail feet or just right. Maybe clarify your question, make sure I understand it correctly. Let's see here. The Walking Waffle, how do you feel about comfort and distance for the Trailfly? So this has become a shoe that I've, like I was saying, really enjoyed. I think it could be your daily trail, go-getter. I still would hesitate to use it 100% of the time for my long trail runs, but I could get away with it in this shoe. For an Ultra, I wouldn't do anything personally more than 50K. There is, because the stack in the midsole isn't, there's just not as much there, and so you're going to feel the ground quite a bit more. There is a rock protective film which helps, but you definitely feel the rocks. It's never been like harsh. So it's more of like a positive feedback, but after 30 miles out there, quite a few hours, your feet are going to get some fatigue just from feeling the ground contact like that all the time, constantly. So yeah, let's see here. Wondering if you feel too many rocks. Oh yeah, and if it's just enough height. Got it. Thanks. Yeah. So there you go. Again, I like this shoe quite a bit. I love the connected feeling to the trails. But I think for maybe it's less distance and more the duration. So if I was going to be out on the trails for more than 3 hours or so, I would maybe want something with a little more midsole stack or a little more protection underfoot. But this has been a pretty pleasing shoe, and definitely one that I've found myself wanting to grab for that next trail run. Like this morning's run, I had no question I'm grabbing this shoe. Not just because it's next in the rotation, but I wanted to grab it and I wanted to go on the trails and run. So there you go. Let's see here. Let's see. Headed out for a run on the trails of Prescott, Arizona. It's beautiful out there. We can see the joy you have in your heart. Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Sure appreciate all your thoughts, products. Even more, I love being on the beautiful Colorado trails. I genuinely love trail running. And I'm grateful that I get to do it. I'm grateful for a body that allows me to do it. It's pretty amazing. Alrighty, next up that I received also from INOV8, and I haven't shared this on like Instagram or Facebook, so you're seeing it for the first time, is the INOV8, I gotta make sure I get the name right, I got it in front of me here, Trail Talon Speed. So like the Trailfly, the Trail Talon Speed is the slightly more aggressive version, and speed being that it's more of their race, like kind of like a racing flat for the trails. 6mm lugs that are inspired by goat hooves, apparently. I'm anticipating that these lugs are going to be pretty grippy out on the trails. This is a shoe that I am right now considering for the Quad Rock 25. It's a 25-mile trail race in May, late May, over 5,000 feet of elevation gain. Pretty well taken care of trails, but there's definitely some technical sections, and I think this will be a pretty fun shoe to use in on that race. This, you're getting about 24mm of heel stack, 20mm of forefoot stack. That includes the insole, which, by the way, is a TPU beaded style insole, which feels amazing. Same with the Trail Fly and the Road Fly. They both have the same type of insole in there. $160, 270 grams. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It feels really good on my foot when I just initially put it in, but I have yet to actually get it dirty out on the trails, which I will be doing soon. I'm hoping to get some speed work, maybe some tempo runs out on the trails, and of course use this for potentially for race day next year. We'll see. Okay, what else do I have coming up? I have, and I've been putting in a few miles in this, the North Face Alta Mesa 500. The 500, so they have the Alta Mesa 300 and the 500. The 300 being a slightly less stack, 500 being their more higher stack variant. So they've got their, what is it, the Vective, which are kind of a little more premium trail shoes. Some of them have like the carbon plates and the super foams. This one here is kind of a slightly dialed back version of that, although it still has a nitrogen infused midsole, which I really like. This was a really nice shoe to run in. I found that it was just plush, very comfortable, just great for those everyday miles. All right. Hey, Steven, welcome to the live channel or the live video. Appreciate you being here. You're thinking of starting running during the winter. What should I look for in shoes? That is a loaded question. And Steven, I'm interested to learn about your running journey. As you know, and for everybody else on the channel here, Steven is my brother. A couple of our other brothers also are runners. So we run together, but Steven is a huge biker, but hasn't ventured quite yet so much into running. So that makes me excited. Steven, to answer your question though, what should you look for in a shoe? I can definitely give you maybe some recommendations, but shoes are like, there's definitely some bad shoes out there to avoid. But nowadays it really feels like there's a lot of really good shoes and there's a few just amazing and great shoes. But it's going to partially come down to personal preference as well, and kind of what you're looking for out of a shoe. When you're first starting out, you probably want just a good do-it-all trainer. If you're not going to be doing too much racing, then you can get away with there's a lot of good shoes out there. Honestly, the North Face Alta Mesa 500 might be something to consider. You're getting that nitrogen infused midsole, so it's nice and plush, just feels really good underfoot. You've got lots of good padding up here. The tongue is not overly padded, but on the softer but slightly denser or thinner, slightly thinner, but dense padding, gusseted, nice and good room in the toe box so your toes can kind of splay out. But yeah, just a great shoe unless you're doing some pretty technical trail running, then the stack is a little bit high. They advertise 30mm of heel stack in this, but it feels like a lot more. It feels like it's more like 35 to 39, 40mm of heel stack. Is what it feels like, even though again they say 30mm in the heel. 24mm of toe stack, 295 grams, but you get a really nice rocker, so it just kind of is nice and smooth right off into your toes. $155, so not overly too expensive. Well, normally priced, I suppose, nowadays. But anyways, so yeah, this will be. I'll probably do one more final long run in this shoe, and then I'll get my review out here in the next 3 weeks or so. All right, let's put this bad boy back and move on. What else do I got here? Whoops, sorry about that. Oh, yes, a shoe from Scott. So this is the first shoe that I've ever ran in and received from Scott. So I appreciate them for being willing to send this shoe along. This is the Scott Pursuit Ride is what they call it. Now, for what it's worth, with Black Friday and the sales going on before Christmas, this shoe is currently $40. That's like 75 or 80% off. $40. An amazing price. Typically, it's $160, 260 grams, 30 millimeters of heel stack, 22 millimeters of forefoot stack. So, yeah, this, I don't know, maybe a little stiff, but it's a smooth ride. Now, the midsole feels a little stiff underfoot. I've only had it out for one run, so I'm hoping it kind of breaks in a little bit. The way I described this shoe initially, what kind of came to my mind was that the upper is like completely modern and really well built with all these overlays here. I mean, expert built and choice of materials on the upper. The midsole felt kind of old school to me, like what the shoes were maybe 5-6 years ago, what those shoes felt like before super foams kind of started becoming the norm. So it's not a bad shoe by any means. It's definitely one probably worth considering, especially if you can get it for $40. But yeah, I'll have some good things to share with you when I get my full review. So I'm going to put in some more miles and really gather my thoughts around this shoe and then get my full review out for you. But there you go. Any 2025 upcoming shoes you're looking forward to running in? Ooh, that is a great question. There are some pretty good shoes coming out next year. I know Altra's coming out with a couple updates. Hoka's got a couple updates, like the Clifton 10 that I anticipate being able to get a hold of. I don't believe coming out with an update to the Tecton X3, which is a great shoe, by the way. Hoka is coming out with, I'm trying to remember the name, the Cielo X1 2.0. So kind of their super trainer racer type of shoe, kind of an expensive shoe, $275, but I'm really looking forward to that shoe next year. I should be able to get my feet in a pair. Yeah, the Prodigio Max or the Prodigio Pro, I'm looking forward to those as well. I really enjoyed, and I've got it in a box right here, the first Prodigio. I really enjoyed this shoe a lot. Oh, just ripped the box. So yeah, I ended up doing quite a few runs on this shoe. It's one that I would consider for like a 50K or a 50 miler. Ultra. It's got a rock plate, pretty decent grip, nice upper. It reminded me a lot of the Salomon Genesis, but with maybe a tad more room in the toe box. Just a good shoe. So yeah, the new La Sportiva shoes that are coming out next year should be pretty good. I've got high hopes for those as well. What else am I looking forward to? Trying to remember. I'm drawing a blank on some of the new shoes. We'll see if INOV8 comes out with some new shoes next year. Maybe VJ shoes. I really enjoyed the VJ Max 2. That's been an amazing shoe. Yeah. All right. What else do I got here? I've got one more new shoe that I just received in the mail. I think it was yesterday. It may have been the day before. Give you a sneak peek here. This box is huge, by the way. When I first got it, my wife saw the box and was like, "What size shoes did they send you?" Let me open this box here. Oh, you did 30K in the shoes. Yeah, hopefully it was a good run there. All righty, if I can see. So in this box, it's another box. So I've got a box of the new Lone Peak 9s. I'll show you that. And then they also sent me this small mug with a carabiner. So that's kind of cool. It says Legendary Lone Peak 9. Got a footprint there. So that's kind of cool. Let me show you the new Lone Peak 9. There you have it. It looks pretty much the same as the previous Lone Peak, but one thing that they did was they tried to simplify the upper with some of these overlays. It's got a ripstop material. nice robust toe box. You got the track Max Track rubber outsole. That should look very familiar if you're familiar with the Lone Peak series. Same kind of style back here. Zero drop, their original fit. Zero drop in the midsole, 25 millimeters. I don't remember how much it retails for. You do get the Ego Max midsole, which is the same as in their Timp 5, which I enjoyed the underfoot feel of that shoe. I'm so glad actually that they went with the Ego Max midsole instead of their compressed EVA, like in the Olympus 6 or the Forward line. Those aren't bad shoes, but I enjoy the Ego Max midsole a lot more. It's just a little more responsive, more fun to run in. So yeah, let's see. Question here. How often do you run in zero drop? I run in them as often as I have them in the rotation. How's that for an answer? So I'll run. Oh man, that's a fair question. It really depends on the shoe rotation. Because I try to put in some good miles into each shoe before I get my review video out. On the road shoes, I'm trying to hit 50 miles typically. In the trail shoes, I will do at least 25 miles generally, if not 50. And it kind of depends on the schedule and how many times I'm able to get out on the trails versus the road and life and all that. I run in zero drop shoes often enough. I mean, it's probably almost weekly, if not every other week, I would say. Definitely run in low drop shoes quite a bit more, 4 millimeters or less. So running those in a 4 millimeter drop shoe quite a bit. Personally, I barely notice a difference generally when running in a zero drop shoe versus like another shoe that would have a 10 millimeter drop. Is there a difference? Yeah. And I think if you were to jump from like a 10 millimeter or an 8 millimeter drop shoe into a zero drop shoe and run in the zero drops exclusively, you would start to feel that in your calves over time. Something you can get used to, just making sure that, of course, you want to keep your calves and hamstrings, all that whole kinetic chain stretched so that you don't incur an injury. But I enjoy the zero drop. I really have no problem with it. So there you go. But yeah, Lone Peak 9. I'm really looking forward to it. This should be a pretty good shoe. All right, Matt on YouTube. I'll have to check out your channel. And by the way, if you guys have like your own YouTube channel, definitely give a shout out in the comments so I can check your channel out. You just got a pair of the INOV8 Road Flies. There you go. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Road Flies? You like them? Not like them? Great fit. Better than Altra. Yeah, it's interesting because in the INOV8s, like I wish the length was just a quarter size longer overall, but because of the foot shape, it's never actually been a problem. The underfoot feel is pretty good. Really feel connected to the ground. So it's like I said, a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of other trail or shoes, trail or road. The INOV8s are just a different experience and one that I've enjoyed. Yeah, just a tad small, more than half size. Yeah, so you could size up. I keep going back and forth on whether that would be my formal recommendation to size up or not. I don't know. Like, I guess I want it to be bigger or longer rather, but at the same time, I've never had a problem in the INOV8s with blisters. In the trail flies, I did notice on today's trail run, when I was going on a downhill section, my toes, of course, were hitting the end of the shoe. It's never, like I said, never been a problem, but it was just noticed. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was just noticed. So it makes me leery if I was going to use the shoe for anything longer than 20 miles, especially if there was a lot of elevation gain, then yeah, probably would want to upsize a little bit. Cool. Just reading your, yeah. So there you go. All right. Altra, thank you for sending me these shoes. I'm also really hoping, I've reached out and I haven't gotten a reply yet, but I'm hoping that Altra, I really want to test the Timp BOA, the Timp 5 BOA. I enjoyed the Timp 5s from earlier this year. Great underfoot feel, but the upper, I felt like it could have been a little simpler and the lockdown could have been a little bit better. I think the BOA system would solve all of those problems. So fingers crossed I can get myself in a pair of the BOAs. They also are coming out with a kind of an update to the Olympus 6, which I found to be kind of heavy and cumbersome. There is the Olympus, what are they calling it? The 275, a little bit lighter weight, different upper. So that looks like maybe a potential good high stack shoe from Altra. So we'll see if I get myself a pair of those. What else do I have coming up on the channel? I do want to give a shout out to Scratch. They sent me this hat and a couple products, one of which I have tried pretty regularly, have used this in races, just their standard hydration mix. How many, 80 calories, how many carbs here? 19 grams of carbs per scoop. I usually do 2 scoops in my soft flasks. This is the caffeinated raspberry limeade flavor, which I really enjoy. So yeah, shout out to Scratch for sending me that. Also for sending me the super high carb. I tried this for the first time a couple days ago on a trail run. I did 7 scoops, which is their recommended amount, 400 calories, 100 grams of carbs if you do 7 scoops. It's more of a subtle flavor compared to their normal hydration, which I appreciate actually, because when you're adding 7 scoops, that's a lot of stuff to add in your soft flask. It was a little hard to mix, but I was pleased with it, and we'll probably be using this for some of my races as I get into next year. Let's see here, Walking Waffle. I've got a few videos on my channel, but it's been standby for a good year. All right, well, I'll check it out nonetheless, and maybe yeah, give a couple of your videos, your older videos a watch. So awesome. All right, so yeah, Scratch, thank you for sending these to me. They're going to fuel a few of my next up-and-coming runs and maybe some races, so pretty awesome. I also got the BioLite 800 Pro headlamp, which I'll be reviewing on the channel. Yeah, I like this. It's a good headlamp. You got the battery in the back, non-removable, so it's integrated, built in, and of course the light on the front. You do get a spotlight, a floodlight. It's got a red light. So it's got some nice features. Yeah, it's been a pretty good headlamp. I still find that I enjoy grabbing my Silva Trail Runner Free hybrid headlamp. I like that a little bit more. However, this headlamp is very comfortable. The way that they designed the front of the headband is just kind of like one piece, and the cord gets pushed in or integrated into the headband there. So it's just a very comfortable headlamp, very well balanced, which I appreciate. The only reason why I don't find myself wanting to use this for all of my runs is because I feel like the balance between the spot and the flood, which you can use at the same time, I feel like it's still more spotlight heavy. And so you can see really far. It's amazing how good the light is, truly. But for everything kind of immediately around me, I can see it, but the floodlight kind of overpowers, or excuse me, the spotlight kind of overpowers the floodlight portion. But some good features. It's a little complicated to cycle through and get the lighting just right. But once you set it, and if that's all you're going to use it for, then all you have to do is hit the button once, it turns on, hit it once, it turns off. Otherwise, if you want to change the modes and like go to just a floodlight, just a spotlight, just the red, you have to do some weird like double tap, triple tap, quadruple tap. So it's, you know, it leaves a little bit to be desired there. You also get a flashing, see if I can turn it on, flashing or solid rear light as well. So a little nice safety feature. Okay, what else do I have coming up on the channel? Normal is supposed to be sending me their Chirag, I think that's how you say it, version 1. They're supposed to be sending me that shoe. So hopefully I'll get that here in the next couple weeks and I can start testing out that shoe. It's also looking probable that come summer of next year, I'll be able to try version 2 that they just showed off at the running event in Texas. So really looking forward to that, and shout out to Normal for being willing to send me a pair of shoes. I'm also hoping, fingers crossed, that I can get a hold of their hydration vest. I think it's a 5-liter hydration vest. Yeah, so I can review that. That'll be pretty awesome. Speedland is supposed to be sending me the new GLSVT. I might need to follow up, send an email to them, but they said that they would be sending me a pair of those new shoes. So that's the one that has the Gator collar built in, kind of like the Hoka Tecton X2, X3 here. It's got that higher built-in Gator. So looking forward to that shoe from Speedland. What else do I got? Corsa, which is a sister brand or subsidiary of Roadrunner Sports. So they're sending me some apparel. Oh, hey, Eric. Welcome to the live channel. Let's see here. Hazel and I are watching. Any up-and-coming races or winter running plans? That is a great question. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about for next year here in a moment. So yeah, Corsa's sending me some apparel. I'm excited to give that a try. You may see that in some of the future videos. Loa Boots, a lesser known brand, at least in the trail running world. They have, in the last year or so, come out with some trail running shoes. And they said that they would be sending me a few pairs for me to test out here on the channel. So they look pretty nice. They look promising. So I'm excited to try something new from a different brand. And then lastly, I believe, and it hasn't come yet, I think Merrill may have sent me a pair or two of shoes to test out and review, which might be arriving today, but it didn't arrive before this video, so I can't show it to you. So I'm excited that Merrill is sending me a couple shoes as well. I've been trying to get a hold of some of their shoes for a while. I don't know what pair they have sent me. I'm kind of hoping for, what's the name of it? There's the Long Sky and the Mountain Sky. One of those is more of the racier version of the shoe. But anyways, they look like they're going to be some fast, well-built shoes. Hopefully it's the Matrix version of that shoe with that really nice Kevlar reinforced upper, lightweight, breathable. Should be a fun shoe. Yeah, Speedland is something I'd like to try. Yeah, they've been coming out some pretty sweet shoes this last year, so I'm excited to give them a go as well. I did try their, I'm trying to remember the name. It's the original, one of the original ones, the black version that came out right after their very first green version, the SLHSV, I think is what it was called. I've got them upstairs. That was a pretty good shoe, but kind of low to the ground, a little more minimalistic, but a great shoe. I loved running the trails in it. I now use it almost as like just a regular around the neighborhood, going to the grocery store shoe, because it's got the BOA system, so it's just easy to slip my foot into and tighten it down. So it's become a shoe that I just use when I just want to put something comfortable on real quick. Merrill Mountain lineup, yeah, looks great. And this Skyfire, that's what it was called, Skyfire 2 and the Long Sky 2, yes. So I asked for both of those shoes. We'll see if they're going to send me both or if they just chose which one they had in stock. So yeah, more to come there. And that is it. Wow, how long have we been going for? 42 minutes. A lot of shoes that I've recently reviewed on the channel, quite a bit more that I'm going to be reviewing soon, and a few more that are in transit, if you will, that I'll also be reviewing. So I got to get some good mileage in, and yeah, just enjoy the trails, enjoy the concrete jungle, get out there on the asphalt and put in some miles. First and foremost, of course, just enjoying the miles, enjoying the fitness, maybe worrying less about getting videos out regularly, but I do enjoy pushing the content out there. And yeah, seeing the views come in and the comments. It's a lot of fun to share my experience in these shoes. And I definitely feel blessed that these companies are willing to send me all this gear. It's pretty amazing to see how that's kind of changed over the last couple years as my channel has continued to grow. And so it's a lot of fun. Oh, another shoe that I'm looking forward to is the Topo. Do I have it? Oh, it's right back here. This is the Topo Mountain Racer 3. I loved this shoe. I used it during my 100-mile race, the U100, a few months back. They are coming out with a Mountain Racer 4, which has some subtle updates, but I'm really looking forward to that shoe from Topo. There you go. That's another shoe. As for my races next year, Eric, since you asked, you and Hazel. Hi, Hazel. I'll say hi to you as well. By the way, Eric is another one of my brothers who is a runner. He paced me for over 40 miles at the U100. And it was amazing to have him there really supporting me. So yeah, Eric, shout out to you. Appreciate that. You also have a channel and you post some running content on that as well. So yeah, go check out his channel. Eric, throw the name of your channel in the chat. Make sure we get it right. So my races, the first race that I have in mind for next year is the Quad Rock 25. So just a local race, 25-mile trail race. That's in May. 5,000, over 5,000 feet of elevation gain. So just a good, early season trail race. As far as my winter plans, I'm hoping to start getting in a little bit more speed work starting in January as weather permits, but get a little bit more speed work and hopefully increase my volume a little bit, just kind of leading up to that race so I can come in ready to run that race hard and as fast as I'm able to run it. I would love to place in the top 10, but this race always, there's some underdogs out there who can really run, just amazing athletes in this area. So Quad Rock 25 by NAR Runners. The next race that I am looking to sign up for is from INOV8. They invited me to do this race. So I'm just waiting for registration to open up and should be able to get in per invite from them. So shout out to INOV8 for allowing me to do this. It is the Ring the Springs 100K. So this year, it's in June. They have a 100-mile distance, but they're not going to do that distance for next year. The 100K is going to be the longest that they'll offer for that. So it's a big loop that you end up doing. Part of it is in Colorado Springs, like the city a little bit, but you're still on trails. And then a lot of it is up in the mountains, around Pikes Peak and I forget the name of it up north there. But anyways, that race, I'm trying to remember the elevation gain on that. 15,000 feet? Maybe it's 10,000 feet. Don't quote me on that. We'll go in the middle, 12,000 feet. But 100K, 62 miles, and should be a good race. So that'll be in June. And then the other race that I am going to be or planning to sign up for is the, and this is in September, another local-ish race about an hour away from here in the mountains, is the Red Feathers Trail Jamboree 50-miler. I did the 50K about 2 years ago, and it was their inaugural 50K, and love that race. A great race, whether you're experienced or doing an ultra for the first time. Definitely recommend it. So I did the 50K, loved it, and then last year, was it last year? Yeah, they came out with the 50-miler, so I'm looking to do the 50-miler for next year. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And those are the only races that I have planned. Hopefully I can get in a couple run ventures. One run venture that I would love to do. Actually, there's two. This one is one that I've been eyeing for a long time. There's the Boulder Skyline Traverse. So that's about 15 miles with over 6,000 feet of elevation gain. It's actually really hard. You're doing some pretty significant climbs and descents. But I want to do an out and back. So about a 50K distance with over 10,000 feet, well over 10,000 feet of elevation gain. Not an easy thing, kind of an all-day adventure, but I want to do that. The other run that I want to do is a route that I used to drive when I just wanted to go on a therapeutic drive, and it's about a 40-mile loop. It's actually all road, but it goes up through the mountains, the canyons, and should be really pretty. So I want to run that loop locally. So those are a couple of the run ventures that I have planned. Alrighty. Before we end, any last minute questions that you all want to throw out there? Appreciate you all for joining and being here. Do you have any questions for me? See if any come through the channel. I should have asked that earlier so you were prepared to ask any more questions, but yeah, lots of gear to review, some good miles to enjoy. Yeah, next year is going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. Well, I hope you all are enjoying. What do I want for Christmas? I want a race entry to West Plate's his inaugural Copper Kings 100-mile race. It's in Butte, Montana. It's in June, but I would love to go race that. I want a race entry to that race. That's what I want for Christmas. Man. All righty. Well, yeah, happy holidays to everyone. Again, shout out to all the channel memberships. Really appreciate your support. If you're not a channel member, you can join for $1 a month or $3 a month, depending on what plan you want to join. I try to get some exclusive videos out there or videos published earlier for you But really it just goes to help support the channel, which I genuinely appreciate. So thank you so much. And of course, to all of you subscribers and such, really appreciate you. Hope you're getting out there, enjoying those miles. And yeah, we'll see you probably on the next video, right? But of course, we'll leave off as we always do. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile. Alrighty, let's end the live chat. I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you again for being here. You guys are amazing, all of you.